So I've wanted to turn horses into humans ever since My Little Pony Friendship is Magic had the misfortune of falling into my hands back in 2010, and I've been occasionally doing that since then with varying degrees of success. But now I feel ready to tackle that challenge again and preserve the culture of gijinka, as it was called during its peak era. So, without further ado, show me the baddies. Let's start with objectively best character Twilight Sparkle. So before even considering designing humanizations for these characters, I had to think about the setting, right? Because the thing about Friendship is Magic is that it's got this high fantasy but not kind of vibe, and I had to think if I wanted to make these designs high fantasy or just average people. Sorry, I barfed. And I just did not decide. So you'll be seeing a few design options here, like giving Twilight some old-fashioned academia clothes. I just feel like she'd wear this kind of stuff no matter what rendition, and I know she doesn't wear glasses, but I'm giving her some reading glasses because nerd alert! And these ponies, they're all walking around naked. Like, there's not a lot you can tell about their personalities just from looking at them because there's no clothes. So when you turn these horses into people, there's a lot more you can work with when it comes to showing off their personality with the style, with the clothes you're wearing, and with how the clothes sit on the body, right? I really wanted to capture how uptight Twilight was in the first season. Like, I missed that a lot, honestly. So she dresses like a teacher's pet meets librarian. Messy hair with a pencil running there because this woman hasn't slept in days and survives off Sudoku and caffeine. I like using more blues too. I really like how it looks a bit less magical and more human, since that's what I'm going for here. And checkered patterns are a must for Twilight. Like, is there anything nerdier than that? No, it's adorable. And if you're not used to using patterns on your designs, try doing that because it can add so many new possibilities and it's a lot of fun. That is, unless you're designing for animation. In that case, try it if you're a masochist, I guess. And y'all thought I was gonna forget about Spike, huh? Nobody cares about Spike, but he's a real one, so I'm gonna include Spike in this video. They made him a dog in Equestria Girls, but we all know Twilight is not a dog person. So if this was a fantasy setting thing, I would have kept him as like a little kobold dragon companion. In reality, I just opened Google and typed in lizard and scrolled until I found one that looked like Spike from Vibes. I identified Spike's vibes, and the Chinese water dragon was the winner. It's even got those little purple, some purple kind of spots. So I decided this is Spike. Now that I'm all done with Twilight, let's move on to the next horse. Next up is Applejack, the element of honestly being nobody's favorite pony. But I'm gonna be honest, I think she's the only mentally stable one in this friend group. What can I say? Maybe that's why people don't really care about her, but I've grown to respect Applejack a whole lot. We love a workaholic diva like Slay, yeah. And there's not much you can do when it comes to an Applejack design because the peak Applejack design has already been uncovered. If you Google My Little Pony Human, My Little Pony Gijinka, chances are the Applejacks are all gonna look the same. Why? Because you cannot improve on perfection, which is, jeans, the cowboy hat, plaid shirt. The most you can do is give her some chaps, some cowboy chaps. So we're doing that. You know, some people give her a bandana. I like that. A big buckle. But the cowboy chaps are the spice. We really need to play with the Applejack being Applejacked, whole thing, because that's her superpower or something. I don't know. Earth ponies, they've gotta have something going for them, right? Applejack might have been quite boring to me back when I watched My Little Pony, even though she was part of the McDonald's Glow Up Pony collection, and I had Twilight, Pinkie Pie, Applejack, and Rainbow Dash. Every narrative I wanted to make, I had to include Applejack. So I grew to respect her a lot. I'm quite satisfied with how she looks. I do prefer the braids. I don't like this wannabe ponytail. It makes no sense. because it doesn't get her hair out of the way when she's working. It's probably hot. I like the idea of Applejack with a ponytail, but there's a hat in the way, you know? The apple embroidery, the cutie mark apple embroidery on the butt is very crucial and important, which is why I had to draw it. Well, this is Applejack, and I'm done with her. Next. Babies like Rainbow Dash. Adults like Applejack. Rainbow Dash was everyone's favorite character growing up. Everybody wanted to be Rainbow Dash. I have 3 completely different designs for Rainbow Dash. She's got her whole flying thing, and how I was gonna translate that into, you know, a normal human thing that does not include flying. Like, I didn't know if I wanted to make her a track runner, if I wanted to make a generally like sporty person, or a skater. Now, a skater, I like that. I did try all 3 different aesthetics. So we got track runner Rainbow Dash, a bit more of a slim fit with the clothes, a bit less tomboyish than what I would like. Then we got, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's giving soccer fan. You might have noticed I've got different references for shoes, like Nike and Jordan, and Air Max, Airpad, Bubble Box, Air Box Bubble shoes, or whatever they're called. I don't remember. But you cannot tell me Rainbow Dash would not be the one friend that has like a Jordan's collection, or that gives a sorry, or that cares about shoes having creases, like about her sneakers. Especially if we're going with track runner Rainbow Dash. Now, skater Rainbow Dash, I gave her all stars. Skater Rainbow Dash is more of a slob, but I think it's also my favorite one out of the 3. It makes sense that she'd want room to breathe, but I also think it makes sense for her to wear baggy clothing that look cool. It makes sense for Rainbow Dash to be a track runner, but I much more prefer skater Rainbow Dash. It feels like human Rainbow Dash would want to practice radical sports, things that are cool. And track running, it's not very cool, is it? I mean, I think it's cool, but it's not very radical, is it? And Rainbow Dash wants to go fast. So I didn't draw this here, but I like the idea of her equipment, like the helmet and the other things that I don't know the name of, having more rainbow details. I avoided using 8 or 7 colors on the hair because it did feel like too much. Like, I tried, but it didn't work. And you might have noticed that I avoided giving Twilight dyed hair because I don't see Twilight as the type of person who would do that, to be completely honest. But Rainbow Dash, so human Rainbow Dash dyes her hair at home, rocks it like a champ. Looks pretty cool doing it. All the kids think she's cool, but she's got like 5 broken ribs and drinks too much Monster Energy. At the moment that I'm editing this video, I have decided that I would not add more characters and I would leave it for another video because I've been swamped. So Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, and Rarity are next up. And this is Twilight Sparkle with Spike, I guess. And Applejack. And Rainbow Dash. My 3 big booty baddies all together in their lineup. This video is weird. That's it. I'll do more horses. I'll draw more horses later. Let me know if you like this, if you care. Got some other news, if I can call it that. It was about time that I opened a Patreon so that I could spend more time working on YouTube. I will show you my sketches. I will ask for video suggestions. You get to participate in polls for comics and ideas and things like that. You get to see more stuff. You get to see some stuff I will not be showing on YouTube whatsoever. Never, ever, never. If you have the money to spare at the end of the month, and if you think it's worth it, if you think I provide good entertainment, consider. I will not only be showing more Planet Humans content, but I am branching out, would like to branch out to other things. I want to show you guys what I've been doing in college. More projects that I might or might not be working on. You don't have to be on the Patreon to consume, like, to see my content. I will be posting it here on YouTube for free, of course, but if you do want early access, and if you want to see some content that I cannot post on YouTube, then yeah, consider going to Patreon. And I will be very, very grateful. I am very, very grateful. I do not deserve all the viewers that I have, but I'm not complaining. So there's nothing else for me to say. Goodbye.